Hello, everybody, and welcome to This Week in Astrology with your friend Gretchen Heidel, full-time astrologer, life coach, Reiki master, and so much more. I'm here tonight live. It is Monday night on April 22nd, 2024, and I'm going to be going over This Week in Astrology all the way from Monday, April 22nd to Sunday, April 28th, 2024. So welcome. If you're just joining me live tonight, go ahead and comment on below what your astrological sign is, where you're tuning in from, your sun, your moon, your rising sign, if you know it. I do record live every Monday night on Facebook at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So if you want to join the live party and you can get, comment while the broadcast is happening, that's totally fine. Or if you are watching the replay on YouTube, hey, you're awesome. Welcome for joining me tonight and or whenever you're viewing. And you guys are amazing as well. I always post the replay after. Try to get it posted at least 24 hours after the broadcast. So it takes many hours to actually load these. So sometimes it takes longer than others, depending on how long the broadcast is. Hey, Kate, you're my first commenter. Welcome. Scorpio from Chicago. Love that. Wendy, Scorpio sun, Virgo moon. Yes, love that. And rising sign as well. Welcome. Yeah, we have a big broadcast tonight. It seems like I'm always saying that, but we have the full moon happening. Not quite as spectacular as that big solar eclipse new moon that we had this month, but still packs a punch and is going to be quite powerful. That's going to be coming to a peak tomorrow on Tuesday, April 23rd, but you won't want to miss it because there's also a bunch of other astrological things happening this week. So yeah, we have the big full moon coming tomorrow. Today astrologic, I don't know if anybody felt this today. Today was a weird day as far as the astrology goes. The Libra moon was not being kind of not playing well with others today. If you guys saw my astrology post that I posted on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and all the different places that I post, but the astrology today was kind of weird. There were people that I talked to that were like, today was amazing, and then there was a bunch of people that were like, yeah, it wasn't so great. I kind of was in and out of it today with the mood. It was an interesting day. I will say, I don't know why, but I felt very peaceful today. I'm not sure. But the Libra moon was kind of not really getting along well with others. Today was about having just a little bit of a disconnect with others at the time. So you guys are joining me now. But I don't know if anybody felt it. Kate said, sure, feeling it, probably the full moon, because that's in your sign, Kate. Almir, hey, welcome. Taurus from Vermont. And Melinda, welcome. Capricorn, also from Vermont. You guys are awesome. Yeah, so anyway, we have something coming tonight, which I'll just start with while we're waiting for some people to join. Tonight is the big meteor shower. There's going to be a meteor shower, the Lyrids meteor shower overnight. Between tonight and tomorrow is the peak of it. So if anybody gets a chance while after the broadcast is done, you want to go outside, and the best viewing time is between midnight and dawn. So if you guys are awake, got to get up in the middle of the night to go to the restroom, you might want to take a look out and see what's going on. There could be anywhere between 30 and 60 meteors per hour. So it's not like the most powerful meteor shower, but it's definitely something that is worth kind of viewing, and especially if it's clear where you live, it might be worth checking out. So Skywatcher alert, Lyrids meteor shower overnight tonight, and tomorrow is the peak. But these things last usually about a week or so you can see a stray shooting star at certain points. I have found, I don't know, I have found that meteor showers are really amazing to sort of manifest and kind of put the thoughts out there. Now it is a full moon tomorrow, so that's not the best time to manifest, but if you want to manifest something last minute, under the wire before the full moon, this is a good time to do it. Hey Rita, welcome. Virgo from Colorado. So the meteor shower overnight is it's going to be a pretty good one. There's actually there's two meteor showers going to be kind of overlapping. There's going to be I think it's called ETA, ETA meteor shower, and that's going to be peaking on the first week of May. So, but that's active now too. So there could be like some crisscross, of meteors going on where we could see shooting stars and, wishing upon a star. I think that's, maybe that's where that even saying came from. Wishing upon a star was because of meteor showers, but because of the ability to manifest during meteor showers, I mean. But I don't know. I find them to be very powerful times to be able to manifest. Hey, Charlie, welcome. Hey, Dodie, happy Earth Day. Yes, everybody, happy Earth Day. And also happy Passover. Tonight is the start of Passover as well, if you celebrate that. Diving into the rest of the week here, we're going to start with the full moon. There's a lot to start with. So we are officially in Taurus season, which means that the full moon is going to be in Scorpio, because the sun and the moon are always opposite of each other at the time of the full moon. It's called the pink moon. That's the nickname for the April. There's a bunch of nicknames for these full moons, which mostly were derived from Native Americans and other sources throughout history. But the pink moon seems to be the most popular name for April's full moon. Everybody's saying happy Earth Day. That's amazing. I love that. Actually, it's funny. I was thinking about that today. My favorite planet is Earth, which might sound weird, but I'm kind of a planet, connoisseur, if you will. I love all the different planets and all the different things that they represent, but Earth is definitely my favorite. And it's the one that astrologers talk about the least. But she is my favorite. Gaia, Mother Earth is my absolute favorite planet for sure. The pink moon, the peak of it, the height of it, the pinnacle of it, the one it's the maximum peak strongest, is on Tuesday, April 23rd, and that's coming at 7:49 p.m. Eastern time. So plus or minus wherever you are viewing, for 49 p.m. if you live out on the West Coast. So yeah, we have the big full moon, and it's gonna be a powerful full moon. However, it's interesting because I did some more research today, and I was looking at what is really the deal with this full moon. Okay, so usually when there's a super new moon, that means that the full moon is considered to be a micro moon. So we had a super new moon on April 8th, right on that big eclipse day. So technically, this is not the largest full moon. In fact, it's not technically small enough to be considered a micro moon, but it is 6% smaller than the average full moon as appearing from the Earth. So this particular full moon is not considered a micro moon, but it's kind of micro-ish, we'll say, because of the fact that the last new moon was a super moon. So it is kind of far away. If you're taking pictures, it's going to look a little smaller, just slightly, 6% from our viewpoint, but it is a little bit smaller than the typical one. There is some really interesting energy surrounding this particular full moon. There's not too much planetary energy. I mean, we just came off of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday with a lot of energy. There's been a lot of energy, astrologically speaking. Friday started Taurus season of last week on the 19th. That started Taurus season, plus there was it seemed like there was a ton of planets there doing things. Mars was sextile the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. Then the next day on 4/20 was the peak of the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. Also on the same day, Black Moon Lilith opposed Mars. Then on Sunday, we had the Sun squared Pluto. I have to be honest with you, I was expecting the news to be a lot more kind of tumultuous and violent and things like that. But remember, Jupiter is good luck, good fortune, and optimism, and Uranus is the bit of the wild card. So we don't really Uranus, whenever there's a Uranus transit, it's like expect the unexpected. And I will say, I was unexpectedly surprised that there wasn't more stuff happening, especially since this full moon was coming. I don't know how anybody else did. Was there any kind of well, Charlie said it was crazy in Australia. Okay. Oh, and Ashley Ann said Saturday night you got into an argument with your neighbor. Okay, well, maybe it wasn't quite as peaceful as what I was thinking. Oh no, terrible stuff in Australia. Yeah, and there is a volcanic. So I was talking about how there was how this would be associated with volcanoes. You know, when Uranus very, very first entered into Taurus, was when the Hawaii volcanoes started to erupt. Okay, and that was, you know, a few years ago. I do feel that Taurus energy is very similar to a volcano. In fact, I typically compare Taurus anger to a volcano. I always say Taurus is like, you guys build and build and build and build, and when you blow, you finally really blow. And then it takes you a while to calm down too. I'll just say that, you know. Yes, it simmers and then it like builds pressure. So Tauruses are usually slow to anger, typically, unless if they have a bunch of Aries in their chart or something. Tauruses can be a little slow to anger, but once they do, man, they are like a volcano. They will blow. And so I always feel that Taurus energy is very similar to an actual volcano. And with Uranus in Taurus, that's a recipe for volcanic activity. And in fact, in Indonesia over the weekend, a volcano became active there. And so, yeah, there was some for sure. And I looked it up on the map, and actually running right through Indonesia is actually not Uranus, but it was Pluto. And Pluto can also kind of incite some volcanic activity, but especially since Jupiter, Uranus were activated, oh yeah, there's definitely going to be some activity there. Rita said that you had a lot of energy today. Almir said truth. You know, you should know Almir is a Taurus, you know, because of that volcanic activity. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I kind of felt like there would be even more stuff on the news, and there was, but it was a little bit more positive than I thought it was going to be, which actually was a pleasant surprise because I was kind of expecting some real, like a free-for-all a little bit. But it is active for sure, this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. And it's still active now just because the peak of it is past on Saturday. This thing's going to be active until like May, June, maybe even into July. Technically, it's starting to dissipate, which means it's starting to get like weaker and weaker as time goes on. So we might not feel it as strongly, but we'll definitely be feeling it well into May, for sure. May and June, we'll be still feeling it. It's several months long, like I said on the broadcast last week. And if you missed it, I have the broadcast timestamped on YouTube. I try to circle back and timestamp these videos so that you guys, it's like timestamps are like a chapter in a book. So you can just go into the description show notes, go to the chapter that you want to watch, and be done. You don't have to watch the whole video. You can just watch like the 10 or 15 minutes that I talk about something. So that's something that I'm trying to do more regularly. Michelle Lee said, your Scorpio is active for sure. Ashley Ann said, yeah, lots of positive energy this afternoon that you experienced. Yeah, I felt more peaceful today. This weekend was a little like up and down, but I did feel more peaceful today. Well, anyway, getting into this big full moon, you know, we're wrapping something up, right? Well, basically we're wrapping up what started November 13th, 2023, and that was the new moon in Scorpio that we had the last time. So now we're building, okay, from that time into you know, now is the completion. So remember, new moons we plant the new seeds, and full moons we harvest the seeds. So we're harvesting now. We're completing something, we're wrapping something up. Where is Scorpio in your chart? Everybody's got Scorpio somewhere. Where is Scorpio in your astrological chart? And you'll know how this will affect you. Now, for sure, if you have a Scorpio moon, or you are a Scorpio sun sign, or you have Scorpio rising, you're going to be feeling this really very strongly. Or other planets, you know, in Scorpio, you'll feel this. If you are a Taurus, this is your full moon, literally, because the moon is opposing your sun sign. So that's what's happening there. So you might really feel this as a big full moon in your life. And that's a thing. If you are a Leo or an Aquarius, you'll be feeling this too, because this is highlighting the fixed signs. So Taurus is fixed, Scorpio is fixed. Now, it is interesting because there's a lot of, I won't say a lot, I'll say a healthy amount of famous people with this that I found. One of which, I think the most famous out of all of them was Bono, okay, from the lead singer of U2. He's a Taurus with a Scorpio moon, so that was kind of cool. I happen to love U2, so I love U2. So Bono is a and we're talking powerful people here. Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, thanks, Mark, I guess, because we're on Meta right now, / aka Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg is a Taurus with a Scorpio moon. Tori Spelling, okay, she's always in and out of the news. She's got some trauma going on in her life. She's a Taurus Scorpio moon. Tom Bergeron, the former host of Dancing with the Stars, he's Taurus Scorpio moon. And it's funny, he was fired from Dancing with the Stars because he, I guess they were going to have a political person on at the time, and he said, no, this should not be a show about politics. And he really stood up for himself, and he would not bend. Okay, fixed signs are just like that. They're fixed, right? They're not going anywhere. And he got fired for that because he said, no, we should not make this a political show. This should be entertainment only. We're getting away from the start of what we're doing here. And he was very vocal about that. That Scorpio moon pointed, came out, and he was like, those people pissed me off. So that's Tom Bergeron. Former President Harry Truman, 33rd President of the United States of America, he had a Taurus with a Scorpio moon. And last but not least, one of my favorite male actors, and my mom's probably going to be rolling her eyes right now, she's watching the broadcast, is Richard Jenkins, who I love as an actor. Taurus with a Scorpio moon, and boy, he really has a lot of Scorpio, and he has a lot of horror pictures that he's done. He was the most famous for playing the dad in the show 6 Feet Under on HBO. He was the dad that was coming back in spirit and talking to the family and things. He's also played the father of Jeffrey Dahmer, and he's been in a lot of roles, and he's been in some very sort of darker, intense sort of roles. And I thought that was interesting that Richard was on here because I love him. I think he's turning 75 this year or 76. He's amazing. I just love him as an actor, so I'm gushing. I just think whatever he does, I'm interested in watching because I always believe him as an actor. He's pretty powerful. And you can see that Scorpio moon. All these people have Scorpio moons, so it's pretty cool. Yes, I believe he was in Witches of Eastwick, Ashley Ann's. A lot of big, powerful people with Taurus with Scorpio moon. So if you think about their personalities, that's where we're going to be in tomorrow with this Scorpio moon. Now, the other thing that's very interesting about this particular moon, so if you think about Scorpio, right, it's endings, completion, wrapping things up, right? Scorpio is the sign of purging and getting rid of something. So if you think of the symbol for Scorpio, right, it's the scorpion, it's the death and the rebirth process and the transformation, phoenix rising, all that stuff. And if you think of full moons, that's all about releasing and letting go of something. You noticing a theme? So this is extra powerful with the sun and the moon, okay, in this, because we're really needing to wrap up something, complete something. And that's why I always say the Scorpio full moon is one of the more powerful full moons for that. So yeah, spring cleaning. Ashley Ann said you're cleaning your apartment. Yeah, spring cleaning right now is amazing, especially since we're in Mercury retrograde still, which we are going to be getting out of as well this week. So stay tuned for that. The other thing about this particular full moon that's sort of interesting, I'm going to give you the bad news first, and then I'm going to get into the good news because there's actually a big piece of good news with this particular full moon. Okay, so bad news, we'll get it out of the way. On Tuesday in the afternoon, the full moon in Scorpio is going to form a square with Pluto. Okay. And so that's coming at 3:27 p.m. Eastern time. So if you think about the full moon, the peak of that is 7:49 p.m. And then we have the square with Pluto, and the ruler of this particular full moon is Pluto. So Pluto, who is the ruler of Scorpio, is squaring its own sign. Oh, that's a little crunchy. So that's very intense. That's a wave of intensity. Good news is that moon transits are shorter in duration. Bad news is they're like a laser beam of energy. So they're very strong and powerful for just a few hours, and then they sort of dissipate. So that's happening during this full moon too. And that's kind of the bad news. So if you think about Pluto and that's Scorpio, and then the 8th house, that's where Scorpio rules in our chart, is the 8th house. Ooh, that's a lot of intense death, rebirth, the life cycle of dying and living, and oh my gosh, all that stuff is like Scorpio energy. If you think about that, like Richard Jenkins playing all those like sort of roles that are very intense in that way. Boy, so that's some crunchy news. So definitely be cautious around that time of the full moon. But this particular full moon is going to be fascinating, because when you look at the full moon in the sky, that hopefully again it'll be clear and we can see all the shooting stars. That's the only problem with the shooting stars during the full moon, is that close to the moon, right, it's so bright that it's hard to see the shooting stars. So that's the only kind of downside of that. But right next to the full moon, kind of up and to the right, depending on where you're viewing from, tomorrow night, is the full moon is going to be conjunct a fixed star called Spica, S-P-I-C-A, Spica. Now, I don't really talk about fixed stars very much. I don't really like sort of go in with all the fixed stars too much, but Spica is a little different, because Spica is considered to be one of the like sort of strongest stars that there are. In fact, I guess the word star actually kind of was inspired by Spica. Okay, that's how important Spica is. It's like, and if you ever see Spica in the sky, you might even think Spica is a planet because it's so bright. It's almost like a bluish white when you see Spica in the sky. She's very powerful. She's called literally the spiritual sun. Okay. I mean, like, and she's very hot, by the way, like actually temperature hot, you know? So that's why she's so bright, because we can see her from so far away. Yeah. Most people have seen her at some point. Ashley Ann just said, I think I've seen her. Yeah. Most people have seen her. And you might even think, like I said, like, oh, is that a planet or is that a star? Because she's so bright. So she's going to be like just above the full moon. But here's the thing that's really important. She is goddess energy. She is powerful goddess energy. She's associated with Mother Mary in Christianity. In Egypt, she was considered to be Isis. Okay. She was considered to be Persephone. Okay. In Roman times. In China, she was associated with Horn. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. It looks like it's spelled Horn. But I mean, she's big, right? She's big, she's powerful, and she's considered to be a lucky star. She's considered to be sort of like a combination of Venus and Mars sort of put together. If you can imagine Venus and Mars having a baby, that would be Spica. So she's associated with the arts. She's associated with like beauty, Venus, all the Venus stuff, you know, goddess of love, beauty, arts, all the things. And also she's associated to be a little bit spicy like Mars, but not quite as fiery and sort of, you know, aggressive, just a little feisty. So she's considered to be very lucky. And if you're born under Spica, which in Western astrology comes at 23 to 24 degrees Libra, okay, that's why she's very close to this, because this full moon is going to be 4 degrees Scorpio, very close to the end of Libra. So that's why Spica is coming up close to this particular full moon. We're going to be, you know, they're going to be kind of together, and that's pretty fascinating. So it said if you're born under the star of Spica, like if the star is conjunct your moon or conjunct your sun or something like that, that's said to be instant overnight success. Sylvester Stallone, Justin Bieber, different people have that in their chart where they were considered to be overnight successes. Like, who was Sylvester Stallone before Rocky, and then boom, he was like, you know, super famous. So it's a very powerful, very fortunate actually thing, and it's goddess energy. It's all about money. It is said that hierophants are born under Spica, meaning that people who have like Pope kind of energy. Okay, that's said to be a thing. And for sure, she kind of embodies like Lady Justice with, you know, being in Libra like that. So this is a very powerful star for this particular full moon to be sort of in a conjunction with. And like I said, they're going to be together. So if you get to see them, you see this really bright object near the full moon, that's going to be Spica. And so this particular full moon has a fortunate thing kind of associated with it, which I finally feel like I'm offering some good news, because I feel like lately it's been a little bit of like, so just a lot of powerful energies out there. This is a very fortunate star to have conjunct. Now, we still are ending something, completing something, wrapping something up. And with it being in Scorpio, where really it can be very intense, there can be a lot of psychology sort of in this, full moon triggers, and things that are being dredged up from the, and then sort of need to be processed and then released. We can welcome that. I mean, you can welcome that energy, but triggers are often painful. And so that can be a thing. But Spica is around, she's a goddess. Okay, get your goddess energy on. And even men, doesn't matter. We all have feminine and masculine in all of us. Okay, so this is all about that. Michelle Lee, oh my gosh, you had the Hierophant card in tarot pulled yesterday. That's exactly it. You wonder what that means. Well, Hierophant in tarot is the Pope. So if you think about, if you could use those words interchangeably, and I don't mean in, not talking about like Catholicism and all that stuff. I'm talking about in the idealist way, a pope would be of the utmost highest spiritual calling, right? You would, if you think about the pure form of the word pope, or Hierophant. And so this is a this is about taking the highest road possible. This is about really walking the walk, talking the talk, living your life. None of us are pure. That's just like silly. None of us are pure in that way. Our souls are pure, but we're flawed humans just by being on the planet. That can be a thing. But we make mistakes, and we, accidentally step on ants, and we do things that we don't mean to do. But it's a really wonderful thing to have this energy, this Spica star energy activated during all of this, because it's saying take the high road. It's saying be elevated. It's saying be mature. It's saying, what is your highest and truest best good? And sometimes, a lot of times when I say, kind of do your best and have the highest best good, we automatically think, well, what's good for other people? This is about what's good for you, my friend. We all have, we have to, think of others. But we also, more often than not, especially the people that watch me and the people that tune into me, you guys are always thinking about other people and not yourselves. I very rarely get a client that's like, well, what about me? And how about me? And what about me? And what about me? I mean, it's most people that come to see me are like over giving and kind. And, I don't know. It's just something that is a thing. So a lot of times I'm here to remind you all. Okay. Now, if you lean a little selfish or self-centered, of course, it's time to think of others too, and what's good for this spiritual greater good. Okay, that's always a good thing to think of. But I want you to also think about what's good for you, because something that's good for you oftentimes will relate or translate into what's good for the greater good. Okay. Oh, nice. Kelly Z, you said you started a new position with a new boss on Thursday. That's awesome. Congratulations. So you're purging and leaving your current role. I love it. Jacqueline, you got on the video late. No worry. I know it's been a lot of energy lately, Jacqueline. We were just talking about that. Michelle, it could be that you find your calling for sure. Absolutely. Take the high road. That's what Spica is all about. She's a goddess, right? Goddesses take the high road. That's what we're doing. This is goddess energy. So that being coupled with this full moon, there's actually a higher vibration with this particular full moon than what I initially had seen, because I was looking at just that Pluto thing that was on the calendar, and I was like, uh-oh, there we go, Pluto's involved. I'm not saying there couldn't be a wave. There's not going to be a wave of Pluto energy there, because there will be, and that could get a little spicy. That could be intense, but Spica energy, ooh, that's different. That's also kind of unusual. So I thought that that was pretty cool that we have that energy that's hovering around, and that we're going to be able to see it from a lot of people are very into sky watching right now because of the eclipse. It's like, oh my God, we're part of the greater universe here, the greater solar system. This is amazing. And so that's what Spike is here, along with this full moon coming into alignment. And I think that's going to be quite lovely, and really could be quite powerful. Big downloads from that energy, goddess energy. So that could be good, and that can be fortunate. Okay, so yes, we're still in Mercury retrograde. I can't wait for it to end, you know. But it is something. It's Ashley Ann, it's called a fixed star. Ashley Ann, where is Spike in your astrological chart? So the good news is with the fixed stars, they're fixed. They don't change. So it's 23 to 24 degrees Libra in everybody's chart. So it depends on where 23 to 24 degrees, it's very specific, and it's just a fixed point. So if you don't have anything there, then you don't have anything there. But if you have anything that's 23 or 24 degrees Aries, or 23, 24 degrees Libra, that's where it was either opposing in Aries or conjunct in Libra. So anyway, but I just wanted to say that since we're going to be seeing them together in the sky, that's an added little bonus here. Archangel that is associated with Scorpio is Jeremiah. And Jeremiah Archangel, remember, it's a they, them situation. They often call Jeremiah a male in text, but sometimes, just like all the archangels, they're referred to as both male and female. So Archangel Jeremiah is called the mercy of God, which is all about forgiveness and self-forgiveness. That's a big thing. Mercy of God, okay? Archangel Jeremiah is said to help us to be able to release past thoughts. Jeremiah is considered to be associated with our life review. He is known as the angel of death. Okay, one of the angels that helps us to cross over is usually associated with Jeremiah. When our time on this earthly plane is expired, that's Archangel Jeremiah that helps us to get our souls, to come over to the other side. So that's a big thing. So he's associated with the life review. That's why these Doreen Virtue cards, Archangel Jeremiah is the life review. Take inventory of your life and resolve to change or heal anything that's unbalanced. Okay, that's the life review that Jeremiah is associated with. Archangel Jeremiah, again, is said to help us to forgive ourselves, help us with reviewing past thoughts, past activities. Like, again, what are we releasing? What are we letting go, right? Because Jeremiah is associated with Scorpio. If there's any Scorpios watching, this is your archangel, is Jeremiah. Digging into past lives, that can also be Jeremiah's forte. If you need help to dig in or to identify something that's going on from your recent past or this lifetime or a past lifetime. So it's almost like South Node of the Moon, past lifetime. Help us to forgive ourselves for past mistakes or other people for past, look, when we hold on to stuff from the past, that's because it's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. So that's what forgiveness is. Forgiveness releases us, really not the other person. So that's something that's very important. To remember that God or angels or spirit guides, whatever your language is, helps us, has a better plan for us than whenever muck that we are in. See, he helps us they help us to release things. So it's good to remember that there's a better plan, a bigger plan. Remember taking that high road. Okay, Spica is helping us to take the high road a little bit here. With this full moon. So that's really powerful. We're going to be taking, we have a couple new, hey, Sarah, welcome. Leo from Vermont. I don't think I've seen you on here recently. Nikki, hey, Michigan. Love that. Capricorn sun, Virgo moon. Yes. Yeah. Taurus rising. We're in Taurus season. So, it's interesting, Jeremiah. Remember what I said about Scorpio, being, deep thoughts and psychology and all that. Well, Archangel Jeremiah is known by New Agers as being the angel of self-help. Okay, so Archangel Jeremiah helps us to know that we can overcome all the difficulties. Okay, this is the Archangel Jeremiah card there's a couple, I'm going to be showing them to you. The worst is now behind you. You're surmounting any previous challenges. That's also Archangel Jeremiah. And then all is well. All is well. Now, here's the thing. I always put a lot of thought into my broadcast. I wore eggplant, okay? Archangel Jeremiah's color is actually eggplant, specifically, or deep royal purple, okay? So if you want to know if Archangel Jeremiah is coming to you, or, you're seeing, kind of getting a visitation, Archangel Jeremiah is associated with the color purple, so that's a really good thing. I'm sorry, I'm touching my camera there. I had a call come in. So that is a big thing. So yes, I'm wearing purple tonight, deep royal, eggplant purpley color, because of Archangel Jeremiah and Archangel's influence with Scorpio. So I actually wrote down a beautiful prayer for Archangel Jeremiah that I thought I would just say on the broadcast, because it's so beautiful. And we can all receive this healing energy, doesn't matter what religion you are, because archangels are in most of the major religions. So that's pretty cool. Archangel Jeremiah, please fill my mind with divine wisdom and understanding. Help me to trust in divine timing for all that is unfolding in my life. Bless me with your insight and help me to find clarity and insight on my spiritual path. Amen. And that's Archangel Jeremiah prayer. It's a beautiful prayer. So I thought that would be really cool. And last but not least, this is actually this full moon is occurring at Passover time. Now, in Judaism, Passover is because this is when the Israelites freed themselves, got freed from Egypt, and we won't go there with politics of what's happening right now. I'm talking about the spiritual connection of Passover. Passover is about freeing yourself from something that's oppressive, or something that's been bothering you, or something that's been toxic, or and that's what full moons are good for. And also, that's what Scorpio is good for. So even having the significance of Passover associated with this particular full moon is very powerful, because it's all about freeing yourself so that you can start something new, eventually, and so that you can, embrace some newness into your life. So you have to just let go of that past thing, let go of the oppression, let go of the stuff, and then come into your own. So if you're joining me tonight and you celebrate Passover, happy Passover. Yes, Ashley, hello. Aquarius, Libra, Capricorn rising. Jennifer, yes, beautiful. Thank you. Charlie said, wishing them peace. Exactly. I hope that everybody over there finds peace. And mercy. Talk about mercy. Mercy of God is literally the name of Archangel Jeremiah. So so I think everybody needs mercy. It's been very touch and go. So anyway, so that is this full moon in Scorpio. So this is the time to burn, release, or destroy. If you wrote your new moon manifestation list, which was a little wonky because we were wasn't really great to write the new moon list at the new moon. So if you wrote it last week on the second chance new moon, regardless, burn, destroy, get rid of. And also a good time to burn old love letters, or burn, something that you don't want anymore, that's from your past, that you no longer want in your life. This is a good time to get rid of it. You don't have to burn it, but you can destroy it, release it, let it go. And that's also good during this particular full moon time, is to let go of that negative energy, toxic energy that doesn't work. It could just be your old itchy sweater that you're not wearing, whatever it is, you need to kind of release and let go. And this full moon is going to be all about that. And this energy, not only does it start on this full moon, but it goes all the way until the next new moon, which is going to be on May 7th, which is also a super new moon. We have another super moon here, new moon, and that's going to be in Taurus. 18 degrees Taurus. That's the next one on May 7th. So if you are a Taurus, again, you're going to feel it really strongly. Even with this full moon, Pisces and Cancers could be activated too, because you're water signs. That's a water moon. That might be why I'm having my feelings today, because I'm a Pisces moon. So maybe I'm getting activated. Yeah, Darcy Joe said easier said than done. I know. It is hard to release and let go and do all that stuff. And to have those more elevated thoughts or positive thoughts during times when you're feeling down, which is Spica is going to help us with, the fixed star Spica. She's going to help us with having a little bit more elevated, and knowing spiritually that we have to release something. That's a big thing. I mean, yeah. So anyway, that is this particular full moon. It is a big full moon, but it has that little nice element of that additional planetary energy with the fixed star, which is definitely a little different. It's a little bit of a fun, different thing. Archangel Jeremiah is going to be around too to help us. Souls tend to come in during full moons. That's why the maternity wards fill up, but also sometimes souls leave, and it's part of the portal time. Because if you think about Scorpio season, that's Halloween, that's All Souls Day, that's Veterans Day, that's all the different, Samhain, all the different holidays that are associated with sort of death and the other world. That's even the 8th house in our astrological chart is the ruled by Scorpio. Now, we don't have too much energy on Wednesday this week, but on Thursday, on April 25th, we have a lot of energy. So it's one of those things, we have the full moon, and then it kind of comes, a little bit down, and then we go into Thursday. So there's bigger energy on Thursday, and I have good news. All right, so we have a couple things I'm going to start with on Thursday that actually happened overnight between Wednesday and Thursday. I'm sorry, overnight. In fact, it's 12:32 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday morning, or 9:32 p.m. Pacific time on Wednesday night. We have Black Moon Lilith forming a trine with Jupiter. Now, if that sounds familiar at all, that's because Black Moon Lilith formed a trine with Uranus on April 12th. And the planets are all aspecting the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. I'm going to keep talking about this because it's going to be active, and the planets are kind of taking their turns highlighting it seems. So on April 12th, Black Moon Lilith formed a trine. She's in Virgo. Okay, Jupiter and Uranus are both in Taurus. There's a lot of earth energy activated right now. If you're an earth sign, you might be feeling this. So trines are positive. Okay, they're said to be positive. Black Moon Lilith is not so positive, but Jupiter is. So there could be something coming here with this overnight. Again, this is between late Wednesday into early Thursday is the peak of it, but it's active right now as I'm talking. And so Black Moon Lilith is all about being free to be who you want to be. She's raw, she's primal, she's a little animalistic, she's also a little unpredictable. But she's going to be forming a trine with Jupiter. Jupiter's good luck, good fortune, optimism, expansion. We might hear a lot about women's rights or some kind of rights. There's a big sort of thing going on with homelessness in the United States right now on the news. That's a big thing. I kind of feel like that could be associated with Pluto, because that's loss, right? Pluto and Scorpio and all this stuff is loss, in this case, losing a home, homelessness. And so that's on the news right now, but there also might be some women's rights or trans rights or gay rights or some kind of right kind of thing on here where people are really thinking about that, because Black Moon Lilith is sometimes something we want to suppress or repress, and then forming the trine with Jupiter, that can be something legal. Again, that's good luck, good fortune, optimism. So that could be something that's like kind of up. And for sure, this could be very helpful to you as an individual if you are somebody who tends to suppress or repress something in your life. definitely right now she's in Virgo. She's been in Virgo. She's in each sign. Black Moon Lilith is in each sign for 9 months. So that could be something that we're kind of secretly like repressing in our life. And so that could help us to kind of come into some sort of, like empowerment, really. I mean, if we let her kind of do what she wants to do, which is to bring it on out and just kind of, be feisty. That's Black Moon Lilith, is feisty. So that's going to be coming to, so we don't want to be told what to do this week. That's a thing. That is a thing. We don't want to be told what to do at all. Okay. So, and she doesn't want to be ruled by anybody, I mean, that's how Lilith operates. So we're going to be extra little feisty. It's like, I saw this really funny meme on one of the social medias, and it was like, at the bottom it says, when you've been single for a really long time, and the person was on the phone and they said, have a great day, and the single person was like, don't tell me what to do. I feel like that's Black Moon Lilith, okay? So she's going to be active this week too. She's a little feisty. At the same time, behind the scenes, Ceres is in Capricorn, is going to form a square with Chiron. That's also happening overnight. The same type of thing overnight. 2:16 a.m. Eastern time on the 25th. This is all Thursday, the 25th. And that's mothering and nurturing and caretaking, and something we need to heal. Chiron. Okay, Ceres is nurturing, caretaking. Chiron is something we need to heal. And so that's coming up around this time too. And that's also kind of associated with females as well. So there's a little bit of energy overnight. But the good news that day, which I really want to get to, is Mercury retrograde finally is ending. I don't know about you guys. I feel like each and every retrograde is so long. It's only 3 weeks, but I felt like this one was extra long. I don't know about you guys. It started on April 1st in Aries, and it is ending now on Thursday at 8:54 a.m. Eastern time. So earlier than that, if you're on the West Coast or whatever time zone you're in, plus or minus. It's almost 9 a.m. On Thursday morning. But that's finally ending, coming to an end, wrapping it up, completing it, finishing up. Yay. Amen. And that is happening. I don't know if you guys had any Mercury retrograde lessons, life lessons about communication, about travel, all the different things during this particular retrograde, but it was a lot. There was a lot. And I felt like this retrograde was very, just very kind of confusing a little bit, because we were in Aries season. All of this energy has been in Aries, which is start something new, start something new, start something new, start something new. And we're not supposed to really officially start anything new. Now, whatever. I mean, sometimes you have to take opportunity when opportunity comes. I'm a big believer of that. So sometimes you just have to lean in and you have to do these things. But there was a lot of new. And it was like, oh, but I'm not really supposed to start these things. So now we can finally unleash, the Kraken, and let it go. We can let this energy out, whatever you downloaded, whatever idea you got. Hopefully you wrote some of these things down so that you can, do some planning and stuff. But whatever big thing that you got to download in, a hit, a thing, this is when you can unleash the I always say, if you can give it a couple days, fine. But here's the another dichotomy with this Mercury. I really feel like this Mercury retrograde could be called dichotomy, like literally, because there was like such weird energies opposing it and kind of like back and forth. The dichotomy is that on Thursday and Friday of this week, so on April 25th and April 26th, Mercury for 2 days is going to be conjunct the north node of the moon. Now, if this seems at all familiar, it's because it already happened on March 19th. Mercury formed a conjunction with the north node exactly. Now they're both 15 degrees, but they're just a couple of seconds off from each other. So it's not coming up as them being exact, but it actually is exact. So they're exactly both 15 degrees in Aries on Thursday and Friday, which is North Node of the Moon in Aries. Mercury in Aries is about aligning with our destiny. Remember, this is like talking into the future, making plans for the future, kind of aligning with the future. I mean, this is all that Aries North Node energy. And where a lot of this stuff happened during the retrograde, now we finally have something that's happening where we can actually do something about it. So this could be very good. Jacqueline said, oh no, I'm not good at keeping my mouth shut. That's funny. Sylvia said, oh my God, it's my time. Yeah, exactly. Sylvia Gemini, I love that. This is Thursday into Friday, the 25th and 26th. Mercury is conjunct the North Node of the Moon. Very powerful. This is the end of the week. So if you think about this, wait until Mercury's not retrograde at 8:54 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday, and then game on. We can usually I'm like, wait a couple days, blah, blah, blah. And I did just say, okay, maybe wait. Sometimes we can't wait. We can do it now. So the North of the Moon is your destiny, your future, what you want in this lifetime, what you want to get to, your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, all that stuff is North Node. Now we got Mercury. Mercury is thinking, talking, communicating. Mercury is also in association with cousins, siblings, teacher, student relations. So if you're teaching a class, or if you have a child that's going to school or doing something, that can be that, your own siblings and things like that. Mercury is all about disseminating information, coming up with ideas. So our mind is going to be running quickly, even though Mercury is slowed down and stopped essentially. Stationary retrograde, that's what or stationary direct is what they call it when Mercury slows down and then stops and then goes direct as it appears from the planet. So that's something that's really powerful, but it's aligning with the North Node of the Moon, and it's kind of hunkered down there. It's, the North Node of the Moon, they're kind of pausing. So for 2 or 3 or 4 days, they're just going to kind of be sitting together, which is very nice because we want it to sit together, okay, as long as possible, because we want to get all those downloads of what our future goal is, what is our dream, what is our affirmation. Yes, Rita said, thank goodness now I can have my car fixed. Well, and actually I waited until the following week, but I have it's not a repair, but I live in New England, so I have to get my winter tires taken off. So I'm doing that after Mercury is already kind of, going somewhere in May. So that I waited because, I didn't want to have it done during Mercury retrograde. It's just routine maintenance. So it wasn't an emergency or anything. So anyway, so yes, Mercury is how we travel, how we get around. Remember, Mercury had a Pegasus and had a chariot. I mean, how cool is that? But that is our travel, our transportation, how we do that. So all this stuff is now going to be kind of freed up to do some stuff, and we're going to be really focused on what is our goal in the future, what is our plan, our dream. Now, what was happening for you around March 19th, March 20th, and you will know potentially how this could affect you. Somebody had given me this tip and I really thought it was useful, but look at your phone. What pictures did you take on March 19th to see? Because a lot of us can't remember, like, oh, what was I doing? I don't even know what I did for breakfast today. Look in your diary, look in your journal, look in your emails. You'll know then March 19th, oh yeah, I was doing this and this, or around that time, March 20th or whatever. But we're having a rehashing of that this week, and that's very, very positive. It's in Aries, so Aries, remember, can be sharp-tongued. We just have to remember that. Aries can be a little angry. But I don't see that necessarily as being bad. Aries is also drive, ambition. It's like our action, like what are we going to do about this? Mercury likes to think, but Aries and the North Node wants us to act, not just talk, but do. Talk the talk and walk the walk. Okay, so both of them are driving us to not just talk about it and think about it, but get off the couch and do something about it. That's an Aries thing, you know. Lori said, "Oh, we can all just take a breath." Not quite yet, until this is a little bit past this North Node, and actually the breath might come, Lori, over the weekend, which is April 27th and April 28th. There's some minor stuff going on with Venus this weekend. There are semi-sextiles and things. I don't really go over that, the minor energy in this bigger broadcast, but the energy is a little bit more mild over the weekend, and that might be a good time to catch our breath and just sort of breathe a little bit, because there's been a lot of onslaught of energy being thrown at us recently. It's something that we got to keep that in mind. So yeah, sometimes our nervous system, Aries energy is very push, grind, just do it, you know. Taurus energy is a little bit more slow and methodical. Let's think things through. Let's have more of a plan. You know, Taurus is very earthy. And so that can help us to slow down a little bit, but definitely after the full moon is over now. Sometimes people have trouble sleeping during full moons. That's been scientifically proven. As much as 20 minutes that we lose sleep every time there's a full moon. I think it's probably more than that for a lot of people than 20 minutes. But they don't know why. There's science isn't ready to go there yet, but they have seen that it does cause an interruption sometimes with sleep. So that is something. So that is this week in astrology. It's not as busy every single day like we've been having, like we just had over this last week and last weekend. But it is powerful energy, especially with the full moon, and especially with Black Moon Lilith, and you know, Mercury turning direct, and then Mercury aligning with the North Node. Oh my God, that's just our destiny. I mean, that's a big thing. Yes, Charlie said, because it might be too bright out, that they did throw that out as a hypothesis, but they're not even willing to say that, you know, science, they can be like that sometimes. Oh, thank you, Charlie. 100 stars. Yay. That's my first stars of the night. That's full moon stars for you, Charlie. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And so, yeah, so they do think that's a hypothesis, that it interrupts our circadian rhythm. But if you think about the full moon, you know, the tides rise up and the animals mate, and there's all kinds of things that happen. It can affect our periods and a female's menstrual cycle, things like that, you know, and we're just basically made out of water. So, you know, of course the full moon kind of pulls at our fluids, you know, so it is something that is a lot. It's a lot of energy that we get down and loaded with. All right, so I am ready to take some questions, and then you want to stay tuned, because at the end of the broadcast, I'm going to be pulling a card for what we all need to know from the angels, the spirit guides, and how we like to do that. Let's see. Sylvia said, card for you. Yes, I can. I brought all my cards tonight. Wow. Melinda said, I always thought about you saying cancel clear. Oh, you're thinking wrong. Cancel clear. Yes, clear. Like clear the field, clear the energy. CLEAR, not Claire. Cancel clear. Oh, thank you, Jackie. 100 stars from Jackie. Appreciate you guys. Okay, so let's see here. Sylvia, you want a quick card? So I have a lot of people asking me for cards. I can't get to everybody, but I will definitely do my best. Sylvia she didn't ask a question, so you just wanted a quick card for you, Sylvia. Ooh, moon cycles. There you go. This moon might be very powerful for you, Sylvia. That's the moon cycles card. Okay. Archangel Haniel. Notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations, and capitalize upon these cycles. So this one's about releasing and letting go, you know, and doing that. So I hope that helps Sylvia. Jacqueline said, I had a great day on March 19th. That's great. I love that. That's awesome. Let's see here. Kelly wants a new card for your position. Let's see. Whoop, I kind of pulled two there. Let me go back and reshuffle. Sorry about that, Kelly. Means the energy. Okay, you got to clear out your space, probably literally clearing out your office, Kelly Z, about your new position. I am gonna pull another card. The universe always wants me to pull a couple more sometimes. That's kind of how that happens. What does Kelly need to know about her new position? Okay, you're getting the card of Counselor. This is Archangel Azrael. You are a natural counselor. Many people benefit from your guidance and reassurance. And then you got the Archangel Jophiel, which is get rid of clutter, clear your energy around you, use feng shui. Okay, so that's, hope that helps. So you're going to clear out the old and bring in the new. And people do rely on you. So that's a really wonderful thing. I think that's good. Let's see here. Jacqueline, yes. Oh no, you're struggling. All right, let's do a card for Jacqueline. What do you need to know, Jacqueline? Really quick cards here. Oh, you're getting this card again, counselor. Sometimes counselor also means you might need a counselor, a trusted friend, somebody to talk to. Doesn't mean you have to see a therapist, but you know, it could be a trusted friend or somebody. Also, people probably do come to you as well. Jacqueline, for your love and your support. I'm going to pull another card for you. I'm feeling pulled towards this other deck, Jacqueline. So hang in there with me, my friend. Sometimes that happens. I always pull, I have many decks, but I always just, whatever I'm guided to pull from, I listen during my talks. Oh, heaven's watching over you, Jacqueline. I know you've been struggling, lady, you said, but you have somebody, guardian angel card is coming out, but it could be a deceased loved one that's looking over you. That it feels female to me. I'm just saying that you have somebody as part of your spirit team that is looking over you and to help you. But someone in heaven is watching over you. It could be literally your angel, your guardian angel, but I don't know. I do feel an energy or a pull to a mother, grandmother, somebody, or on the maternal side of the family, but it feels female to me. And that feels like a deceased loved one. I'll just say that. I hope that helps. Gloria, my goodness. All right, so let's see, Gloria. What does Gloria need to know? She wants to have a card too. Gloria, what do you need to know? Gentleness. You are a giver, Gloria. Okay, gentleness card. Archangel Sandalphon, be very gentle with yourself around this time. Surround yourself with gentle people, situations, and gentle environments. You are a giver and you are probably an empath, Gloria. And I'm getting the feeling like you just kind of have people or animals or situations pull from you, and you give and give and give. And I just feel like right now you need to kind of be a little bit more selfish, wall off, and be a little bit more self-protective, because you might be sensitive to these big energies that are going on. Oh, Jacqueline, you are a counselor. I love that. Oh my gosh, you can't even make that up. That's amazing. That's awesome. Juliet, 100 stars. Thank you so much. That is really funny. Oh my gosh, Jacqueline. Yeah. So people come to you. You know, you are a trusted counselor. People love you. You know, I can tell. But I also do feel like you have somebody that's looking out for you on the other side, that's offering their love, their guidance, their support. So I think that's pretty cool too. Okay, so I think I actually got to the end of the questions. I thought there was a little bit more, but that's okay. Love that. Love you guys. I'm going to pull a card for what do we all need to know about this big full moon conjunct the fixed star Spica. What do we need to know about the moon and Spica and all of the things that we need to let go of and release and wrap up and finish? There's a lot of energies right now, and we're finishing Mercury. This is the week of finishing, really. Mercury retrograde's finishing. Okay, full moon's finishing. We're wrapping it all up. What do we need to know about this astrological energy for this week? What will help us? What will we need to know? Oh, okay. There we go. All right. This is the moon card from Moonology, and this card is take time to breathe out. Disseminating moon. Take time to breathe, okay? It's funny, somebody else said something about breathing too, like we just need to breathe. I'm going to also pull a card. What do we need to know from the Archangel deck for this week? What do we need to know? All this energy, this full moon. All right, there's a lot of relationship stuff going on out there behind the scenes. I think a lot of us are having that. Archangel Raguel. We angels are opening the hearts of everyone involved. Arguments and conflicts are being resolved. Yeah, we need to not hold on to these things and release these things and let these things go. I'm going to pull another card. Okay. I'm overachieving tonight, but woo, I didn't even have to pull the card. The card flipped out onto the floor. Oh, what was I talking about with everybody, right? Sleep. We need to just, some of us just need some good old-fashioned sleep. That's the Guardian Angel card. And then I was going to pull one more for our relationships. By the way, this card, this relationship card that's talking about relationship harmony, yes, it can mean some of us are having harmony in our relationships, but sometimes this is disharmony, and the angels are working on us to help us fix the to come into harmony. So it doesn't mean we automatically are harmonious. Tricky. So that card can help to resolve conflicts. And I'm going to pull one more card, a love card for all of you out there with love questions and like what do we need to keep in mind for this particular full moon, and Spica and this energy this week. Nice. All right, so we have engagement. Okay, this is a really cute card. It's a very old-fashioned artwork on the card. Engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. So either it's even if you're single, it can be engagement, committing to yourself, okay? And that's a higher level, ascending. Because remember, Spica is behind all of this, helping us to ascend. Even if we have to release stuff, and let things go. How do we clear the muck? So that we can have something that's good, that's solid, something that you want. I mean, this is just something that you maybe want to pull into your life. You want to bring it into your life. You need to ascend, which means that we have to think about things in a higher spiritual consciousness. If we stay in the mud, first of all, we can't help ourselves because we're stuck in the mud. And then we can't help others. I always say, like, what if, what if you're trying to help someone out of the mud and then you get in the mud too? You're both going down, you're both stuck in the mud. So you have to ascend and kind of rise up out of the situation, which means not getting involved in all this pettiness, not getting involved with toxic relationships, not getting involved in all the minutia and the BS that we tend to get really involved with in the daily day. And it's about ascending, meaning rising up beyond it and going into Spica, which is the maker of popes. Oh my goodness, maker of overnight fame and fortune, the maker of literally fortunes. It can help us with our money, our love life, all kinds of things. So it's good for us to know where all this energy is taking place in our personalized astrological chart, which is why you might want to call me and get a personalized astrological session with me one-on-one. And that can really deep dive into your chart, let you know what's going on. And as always, thank you so much for joining me on Monday nights. Make sure you subscribe, like my YouTube channel, like my Facebook channel, like my Instagram channel. And I will see you guys next week, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, same day. All right, everybody, be well and happy full moon in Scorpio. Bye.